Fun fact, the actress who played the original Samara in The Ring, DeVay Chase, is also the voice of Lilo and Stitch in the original Disney film. Another fun fact, that actress is now insanely hot. Hey guys, I just saw a movie called Rings. It is the third installment in what I guess is now the Ring franchise. It started with a Japanese film called Ringu, and that was remade into an American film. There was a huge hit here in the States. And then there was The Ring 2, and I really thought there were more than that, but apparently there's just two until now. Rings. Rings is a new film that, how can I say this? It's not good. It's not a good movie. I can't say it's extremely different plot-wise from the previous installments, although I barely remember the second one. Here's the thing. Plot-wise, it tries to take it in a new direction, and that's interesting, although it's still a bit formulaic in how it works. The real problem of this movie, although the plot is kind of a caricature of the previous films in the sense that it's just like, you know, it's a mystery like the other two, where they're trying to figure out something involving Samara's history. Samara, I don't remember how to pronounce it. And, you know, somebody saw the video and they're trying to save their own life, but in their case, it's a little bit more than that. They've been drawn into it sort of as somebody who's been chosen to find out something else that might save everybody from this possibly innocent little girl who's now an evil creature type thing. Is she just misunderstood? Who knows? Let's solve this mystery and try to save her, because it seems like, you know, she's a victim here. I know that it's been a long time since I've seen the first two. I feel like that was part of the plot of the first one, if not the first and the second. But of course, it's different here. I don't feel like it's important to give spoilers on this. If you care enough about this franchise to go see it, to find out this added bit of storyline, there are interesting aspects to it in terms of how they try to modernize it and everything. But overall, this movie is tedious. And what makes it a bad movie, honestly, I'm going to have to say it's the lead actress, who is so wooden. And I mean, you could partly say it's because she's trying so hard to hide her accent, although she's not doing it at all. Maybe she's... This actress is obviously like French or something. And in the beginning of the film, you don't notice it, so I feel like she was trying to hide it. And then, like, partway through the film, she just stops trying to hide it. Although it still painfully feels like maybe she's trying a little bit. So, that's aggravating. But either way, her deliveries are just deadpan of so many of her lines. And you could blame that on trying to, you know, control an accent, but I don't think that was the case. I don't know. She just had no emotion in hardly any of her lines. And then there's just the fact that this whole movie felt like it was direct to video because of the melodramatic piano music they were playing. I don't remember the music in the first film. The first film was really good. I really liked it. It's been a long time since I've seen it. It's hard for me to just flat out compare it because I don't own that movie, although I should. But as I recall, it was a really good movie, although rewatchability was kind of low because it was largely a mystery and it was kind of slow, and it was great for one time, but to repeat it, But I do remember the lead actress was pretty lovely and everything, and so that helps repeat viewings. But this film, for one thing, this film does also right away takes it into the this is a horror film about college kids area, which immediately causes groans. You know, if it's about teenagers and college kids, it immediately blends into like every other horror film that comes out, and it's just so frustrating because you don't care about them, because they are usually the most selfish people in the world. They're just living for partying, and when they're not doing that, they're you know, they're overly dramatic, or you know, the ones that are supposed to be the good ones are just overly dramatic and overly offended and this and that. They're just not likable. They're not likable people. And they're usually not well developed. They're usually very two-dimensional, and they're usually way too pretty for their own good. I'm not just talking about the girls, I'm just saying everybody is just like too perfect looking. That's what made old horror films so good. Watch old like 70s horror films and stuff, and the people, even the ones that were sexy, were not perfect looking people, and it just it made it more believable. It wasn't like watching actors. When I watch horror films now and it's like gorgeous 20-somethings or teens, and it's just like I can't forget that I'm watching actors and models. You know what I mean? So it's hard to get lost in the horror, if there's any, which actually in this movie, and that's really sad, but because it's like a ghost story type thing, there's like no real horror. There's nothing that really scares you in this. Everything is just overblown, and yet you feel the budget too. The opening scene is just really lame. It's like rings on a plane, you know. And it's just, it's chaotic. I don't even like, I couldn't pay attention because it was just a mess, and it wasn't interesting. It was just bleh. And I mean, I was able to get into the movie as it went on because it did have a slow pace, which I like, you know, and you could just like, you know, you could follow it and everything, but you know, the opening was just a lot of mayhem. And but they never really made me care about anybody. There was nobody worth caring about. They had kind of an interesting character with what's his name from Big Bang Theory. I love Big Bang Theory, but of course if I'm trying to remember somebody's name, I always go blank. But Johnny Galecki, I believe that's his real name. I don't know why I'm going blank on his character's name. Not Sheldon, but the roommate, the one that marries Penny. I like Big Bang Theory. I love that show, but I'm blanking out right now. But he is, you know, the guy from Roseanne and A Christmas Story and everything. And I just have his name up here on the computer screen. That's why I remembered it. But I can't remember the character all of a sudden. But he surprisingly is in this movie, and he seems like a main character, but like they introduced him as an interesting character. I don't want to give things away. Sometimes I do spoilers. I don't feel like doing spoilers for this, because if you really go see this, then I don't want to ruin it for you. Go ahead and go see it, and spoiler free. I can watch horror movies even when they're bad, and there's some entertainment in that alone. And I just enjoy horror movies, you know. And mainly it was the acting that really bugged me with this. But I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't like, you know, I say it's similar to the original and the sequel in the fact that it's like this kind of a mystery that they're trying to solve to save their own life and everything, but to stop this curse and maybe help the girl. It's that kind of thing, but it's just really, but it's still not as well done in any way as the previous films, and then the acting was so bad from the lead. But yeah, I was surprised to find that one guy from Big Bang Theory. God, I can't believe I forgot his name. And but they don't really go anywhere. They give him an interesting character, and then they don't really go anywhere with it. In fact, they remove him from the picture partway through. And then there's another character who, I'll just say, there's a villain character who's also a familiar actor from various things that I was also surprised to see in a horror film like this. But I guess the title, The Ring, sort of carries some weight because the original was a big hit. And maybe they were like, sure, I'll be in a Ring sequel. That's like being in a Scream sequel. But it's not. And this was like watching S. Darko, which I can watch, and I really need to purchase it. But as I recall, time I saw it, I didn't understand Donnie Darko first time I saw it. You have to rewatch that one, but it's a good movie. S. Darko, I don't think rewatching it is going to help that movie, but I can watch it because DeVay Chase is unbelievable in that movie. But yeah, and I've seen that in like the $5 bins before. I need to snag that sometime. But yeah, this was like that. It's like a really like bad direct-to-video, low-budget sequel to a really great film. And this doesn't even have DeVay Chase in her, adult form. So yeah, there's really no redeeming qualities to this film. I will say I saw it at the Alamo Drafthouse, and when the film ended and the credits were going up and everybody was kind of, yay, let's go home, I heard a scream from the front of the theater. Well, I was kind of in the front, but nearby, I look over, and this huge buff guy with a bald head has fallen over in terror. And it took me a while to figure out what was going on. It was like mayhem in the theater. And then I saw Samara from The Ring standing there. This is what's great about the Alamo Drafthouse. If you can, you go to a movie on opening night, and I mean like Thursday night, the night before the real legitimate opening, and you will see like they'll either have a host out there or they'll do little things like this. I took my picture with her. Very cool that they, did that. And like that one buff bald guy said on his way out, that made it that pretty much made up for the movie being so bad. And he was right. I mean, that was a really fun thing that made it worthwhile after we sat through. And another great thing about the Drafthouse, you can order dinner, and it's a good dinner, and watch the movie while you have dinner, and that really helps in cases when you see a movie that's not very good. But I don't recommend going to see this one unless you just, horror movies are the only movies you like, or you're just really curious. It's not worth the money or anything. This is something you watch on Netflix. This is really something you watch on Netflix. If I watched this on Netflix, I would have been okay with it. I mean, I would have seen what was wrong with it still, but I would have been okay with it. Sad, but okay. Because I probably would not have even thought that it ever went to the big screen. But yeah, this is like watching A Christmas Story 2. I don't mean My Summer Story. I mean A Christmas Story 2, the one that had nothing to do with Gene Shepard. But yeah, that's my review of that, guys. I wanted to see the Founder, that movie about Michael Keaton founding McDonald's, but the only Drafthouse that's showing it, and I like to stick to the Drafthouse. That was because I hadn't had dinner yet. The only Drafthouse was like on the other side of town. I didn't realize that it had been out for a while. I thought it was not out yet, so I'm gonna try to still catch that one. Maybe I'll just go to the regular theater to see it, but I haven't gotten to yet. But that's supposed to be really good. And what else? There was a trailer for some horror film called Raw. some foreign horror film. It sounds like, I feel like I've heard of that one, but man, that trailer was gross. I'm not big on gore. I have like at least one friend that's really into gore. I love horror movies, but my preferences, I said this before, are monster movies. I like werewolves and vampires and things like that. I'm not so into gore. I'm not even so into slashers and stuff. I enjoy them sometimes. Gore, I don't get much out of it, and I'm squeamish. I'll look away sometimes, or I feel it, you know, when I see even just painful things happening in movies. I feel that deep down in my parts. It hurts. I can feel the pain. So, yeah, this Raw movie looked intriguing. It looked good, but ugh. I can't remember any other trailers in particular that caught my eye before this one. And as far as other movies, I have a ticket for My Neighbor Totoro to see on Saturday at noon at the Draft House, so I'm excited for that. Gonna have to sit in the front row, but whatever. I've never seen it on the big screen. I know I just bought it on Blu-ray. I know I have it on DVD, but I've never seen it on the big screen, and I kind of want to see, you know, more Studio Ghibli on the big screen. I've only seen Kiki on the big screen, Spirited Away, and Arrietty. Those might be the only 3 that I've seen on the big screen. I'm not sure. And they're showing a few this month at the Draft House. Maybe more than just this month. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm gonna catch Totoro, and we'll see if I see any others. But speaking of Studio Ghibli, I have 3 orders of business today. One of them was the movie review. Now I'll do my usual recent purchases, which, yeah, I got my first paycheck in this new job, and after I paid the rent with it, I used the leftovers, as you know, to see this movie today and buy dinner, and to get several Blu-rays at the big Best Buy sale that they're having with Studio Ghibli. I showed that in my previous video. I had picked up I don't remember how many, a big stack, might have been like 7 Studio Ghibli movies that are on sale right now, and they didn't have Princess Mononoke in the Best Buy that I went to, so I went to another one, and I picked up Princess Mononoke. I already took the plastic wrap off because I was putting in my digital code for my Disney Movie Rewards. One more movie, and I can get Hercules for free. So I'll probably go get Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, because basically all I still need from the classic Disney animated features are Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Hercules, and Pocahontas. Got to get Pocahontas too. But yeah, and I've almost got all the Ghibli movies that I need too. But I probably won't be able to get any more right now. I still need Spirited Away, but that one's even on sale is a little pricey. I also went to Big Lots, and let me say, if you want some Hi-C Ecto Cooler, go to your Big Lots stores. I went to I showed in a recent haul video that I got 4 packs, like 4, were they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think they were they 12 packs? I got like 4 12 packs of cans of Hi-C Ecto Cooler at Big Lots, and they were like, the whole thing, the big stack of 4 12 packs of cans was like less than $10. It was like 8 something, because they were discounted to like 17 cents per can. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And I went to another Big Lots, and they only had like 1.5 cases there, but still, the point is, you can get some Ecto Cooler. Go to your Big Lots stores. But what I found at this Big Lots store that I went to, besides Ecto Cooler, which I didn't pick up because I still got 3 cases, I drank 1. I found this movie for $3. Now this is Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li. Yeah, it is The Legend of Chun-Li. Okay, I couldn't remember the title for sure. This movie's not a great movie. In fact, I remember it being pretty bad. But that is Kristen Crook on the cover. One of the most beautiful actresses to ever live. In fact, looks a lot like the girl I lost my virginity to. A lot. Not kidding. I know, you wouldn't think so. I was really in love. But that ship has sailed. But yeah, I still love this movie. Love this actress. Was addicted to Smallville for all 10 years, even when had lost its mind. But and she certainly helped, even though she wasn't really on the last few seasons. But yeah, pick that up for $3, mainly to watch Kristen Crook kicking butt. I don't remember. I saw that movie once at my friend's house, like way back when it came out. I just remember it was pretty bad. But I've been meaning to get it for this long just because of her. I also went to Best Buy. I mentioned I went to Best Buy. Well, besides getting Mononoke, they have, of course, their usual like $5.99 bins. And from there, I found Billy Madison, one of my all-time favorite comedies, $5.99. And oh no, you know what? That's wrong. I got this one at Target for $5. $5 even at Target. Now, I've you know, Target usually has a $5 Blu-ray section, but I've never seen Billy Madison in it. And this was a Target out of town. I went to a few stores. I work out of town now, and I went to a few stores there. That's why I found different items. And I wish I knew where their Big Lots was. Maybe they don't have one, because I went to that Big Lots in town. But this one I went to out of town. I went to Target, and I didn't find anything in particular except this. $5 even. One of my all-time favorite comedies. This movie is hilarious. No matter how you feel about Adam Sandler, this was like his first big hit. It's totally ridiculous and absurd. The humor is bizarre, but I love it so much. And now, this is what I got at Best Buy, besides Mononoke, Howard the Duck, and The Last Exorcism. And I had been meaning to get these for quite a while because they had that $5.99 area, which I picked up some Christmas movies from before, and I picked up Weird Science from it before. And this time I got Howard the Duck, Last Exorcism. I like this horror film quite a lot. A lot of people love it until you get to the end, but I actually have no problem with the end. I don't remember it perfectly, but I remember not having a problem with it, unlike everybody else. And Howard the Duck is a movie that I really like until the climax. I know nobody likes this movie, but I grew up with it. I was a little kid, and it was entertaining to me. But the climax is like this big chase. I think they're in an airplane or something, and it just totally gets boring there. And it's really sad because that's your climax, but I always lose it in the climax. Not completely. I mean, I'll zone back in when it's finally ending, but that whole chase scene, I just zone out. But I still enjoy this movie. Got it on Blue now. I can get rid of my DVD. So yeah, that was my little haul. That's my latest stuff. Finally, tonight, a rant. I'm going to give you one rant. I'm starting to do rants because I feel like people need to be called out for stuff. And I'm not just going to be ranting about food-related stuff. But I got to talk about this, guys. Girl Scout cookies. I picked up some Girl Scout cookies recently, as I do once a year. I'm on a major diet right now, or at least I'm starting one Monday, you know. But a friend of mine was selling Girl Scout cookies, so I wanted to pick some up. And I had a sad discovery with, I got each of my favorite kinds, and my favorite kinds are the Thin Mints, the Samoas, which are my real favorite, and these are actually my Thin Mints are like my third favorite. This is my second favorite. I'm not a big fan of mint stuff, but the Thin Mints are really chocolatey too, and I love chocolate, so that's why I like those. But these are like my second favorite, and these are the Do-si-dos, and they also call them peanut butter sandwich cookies. And I was really sad this year because, as we all know, the Girl Scout cookies have always been trying to change their way of doing things so that they'll save more money or make more money or whatever. And over the years, we've seen less cookies, smaller boxes, higher prices. Maybe the boxes aren't smaller. I think they are, but I don't know. I know that we used to get more cookies. I know the cookies used to be bigger. I know the prices used to be lower. And I've heard things about them changing ingredients and stopping from selling certain types of cookies. So far, I had gone unscathed with my 3 favorites. They finally hit me hard with my peanut butter sandwich, my Do-si-do cookies. These cookies, and I find that it's the strangest thing they decided to do with these cookies. They seem to have eliminated the sugar from these cookies. Now, I know we're all trying to be health conscious, and sugar's bad and all that, but if I'm gonna eat a cookie, put the damn sugar in the cookie. These things are like, they're sugarless. What can I say? Imagine these cookies without any sugar. No sugar in the cookie, no sugar in the peanut butter in between. Now don't get me wrong, I'm sure if you read the ingredients, there's a lot of sugar. There's no way it's the same. I don't taste, the box is the same. It's the same box they had last year. They didn't spend any money with new box pictures, but yeah. This thing, and I mean, I also tried from another box to test it, and no sugar. And not only that, I don't really want to unwrap this roll. I'll do it. I'll do it for you. This is the last roll. I ate the other roll. But you can look at the cookie and tell they've changed this cookie. They're going cheaper. You can even feel it. That is not the same cookie as they've had in previous years. And it's cheaper, man. It is cheaper. It's not as gritty. It's more smooth, and it looks like a Ritz cracker or something, but it doesn't look like the same cookie. It doesn't taste like the same cookie. It tastes like cardboard. It breaks my heart. This is my favorite, my second favorite cookie that they make, and I did not enjoy a single one. I shouldn't even eat these empty calories, but I'm sure I will. Fill in the sugar gaps with a Coca-Cola before I start my diet. But yeah, so heartbroken. You've ruined Do-si-dos for me in your attempts to cut the prices. And if I'm wrong and you haven't changed a thing, then I got a bad box. I don't know. I don't think so. That cookie looks, feels, everything about that cookie is totally different. And the cream didn't even, the center, the peanut butter center between the two cookies. No sugar, no flavor, not the same cookie, just disappointing. So, yeah. I'm not saying don't buy them, but I'd stick with your Samoas and your, I guess the days of Do-si-dos are over, because I doubt they'll go back. Maybe if enough people complain. Here's my complaint. I've just logged it. It's heartbreaking. Don't touch my Samoas. Don't touch my Do-si-dos. Don't touch the Thin Mint. I didn't even used to like the Thin Mints because I really don't like mint. But they're, that chocolate, I love it. I've always meant to try the shortbreads because I like shortbread cookies, but it seems silly to pay that much for them. I don't know. But that was sad. I was really sad to discover that. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of disappointments today as far as that movie was terrible. Those cookies were terrible. The pizza was good though, and I met Samara, probably one of the Draft House servers that I have a crush on. That was probably one of them dressed up as Samara. I bet anything. I mean, they also had a girl who was dressed like a schoolgirl holding the VHS tape and trying to get somebody to, she was going around saying, will you watch this VHS tape for me? But I didn't even realize when I first came out there, I didn't even notice her because everybody was focusing on Samara, But I wish I had noticed her too. Because she was probably also a Draft House server that I have a crush on. I have a crush on like 3 of the servers at that particular draft house, the Lake Line one, in here in North Austin. But anyway, that's it for now, guys. I will catch up with you again later. Gonna see Totoro Saturday, but first, one more work day on 4 hours sleep as usual. See ya.